Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Metal Magdalene with Jet here on Metal Messiah Radio. Tonight, I have a special guest with me. I have Adam Jarvis of Misery Index, Pig Destroyer, Fulgora, God Enslavement, and who knows what the hell else. Welcome back to the show, Adam.
What's up, party people of America and Europe and worldwide.
That's right. Now, you know, Adam, when I just finally to try to learn all the bands you're in, you go and join another one. So tell us about God Enslavement and how that all came about for you.
God Enslavement.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it started with Bjorn actually hitting me up, the main songwriter, just as a possibility of like a studio project, and everything kind of just fell into place from there. He just kept sending me more songs, and always just, I have to enjoy the music, first of all,
mm-hmm.
to, put so much time into it, especially when I have all the other projects that you just named above to worry about as well, so I can't, if I recorded on every project that has approached me, then I'd be in way too many bands, and then it would be overwhelming, and
mm-hmm.
I don't want to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the material was strong and awesome. I put my hands on it. We kind of reworked some of the song structures, and bada bing, bada boom. I ended up getting Vinny from, he was Dying Fetus on the Stop at Nothing album, and toured them for a while. He's also Criminal Element. I was in Criminal Element for years with Vinny, so it was kind of a no-brainer when he's like, oh, the vocalist fell through, who do we get? Do you know anybody? And, yeah, Vinny came in, did a great job, and the album's out now. You can check out, you can order on the Bandcamp. That's, I think, the main source. And then you can stream the entire record. That's because I think it just came out a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it is in full force coming at you.
And is this going to be just like a studio project? I mean, does this band ever talk about maybe playing shows or anything like that?
Actually, Bjorn hit me up about playing some shows this year, and I told him the best way to do it would be to tie it in with, say, the end of a Misery Index tour, or
mm-hmm.
if I come over for, a weekend festival with Pig Destroyer, just to wipe out, a plane ticket expense. I could already be there. We could jam a little bit and then go play a couple shows. And he really liked that idea, but I don't know if it'll actually happen this year because I'm only actually going to Europe once
mm-hmm.
this year now,
mm-hmm.
I think. But it's hopefully going to happen. I don't want to say probably, but it's definitely been discussed. So I hope it does, because it's really fun stuff to play. It was a lot of fun tracking it. It was really fun. So.
And they have a Facebook page, so people could just go to the God Enslavement Facebook page to find out what's going on there, and if anything like that happens, I'm sure that'll be up there right away. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Hey, did the cassette tape come out? Did you have like a cassette tape or something coming out with that band?
Yeah. That's making a comeback. First audio version possible, but people still want to buy it. But
it's kind of cool, I guess.
I remember when CDs came out, and I was like just blown away, and because the cassettes, they get all eaten up in your Walkman. You have to
mm-hmm.
rewind it yourself with your hand, or get a screwdriver.
And then your cat
don't
eats
know the
it.
struggle.
Your cat eats the tape.
Yeah. Or my older sister smashes my Def Leppard tape. I chased her with a hockey stick for that one. Yeah. I don't remember why, but she smashed my Def Leppard tape, and I was pissed.
So you
Nowadays, I'd be like, whatever. Which I feel like the last interview we did, Def Leppard came up randomly.
It might have. I don't know. I
don't even like Def Leppard that much. What am I even talking about?
You've been traumatized.
Yeah. I think it was maybe talking about when you buy a pair of signature sticks for Rick Allen, is it just one drumstick? You have to buy two, because then it's an,
Oh, that's bad.
That was bad. Let's move. Next question.
Moving on. Now, not too long ago, right? You were making posts about new Pig Destroyer stuff, and you got freaking everybody so excited. So you have to tell us, we have to get this right from your mouth. What's going on with Pig Destroyer?
Well, it was post because I was freaking excited, and I actually made that video to send to Scott because once I started practicing that song in particular, it was it doesn't look, or maybe it does, or maybe it doesn't. It's not fast by any means. It's just a mentally challenging song, like something a la like the Melvins or something, or even Helmet. You know, people don't give Helmet a lot of, or Fudge Tunnel, those kind of bands. You know, where it sounds easy when you're listening to it, but when you actually sit down and try to play it, it's like, whoa, odd time signatures all over the place. You know, so it was just, you know, a relief to be able to get through the beginning of that song, and it took me hours just to get like that first 45 seconds of the song.
Wow.
And we actually just jammed it for the first time ever last night. We had practice, and we played through it like 5 or 6 times, and JR actually put some vocals to it. And like the first few times we played through it, Scott just looked at me and he was like, wow. I don't know how, because he programs all the drums, and I'll kind of change some things up here and there, but he's always done that with Pig Destroyer. He's always been the sole songwriter for the band. And he stumped me on the last record with one song, and that song I thought was going to stump me as well, but I got it, and that's why I sent the first, 45 seconds over to him, and I was like, check it out, and he's like, holy shit, freaking out. And I was like, you mind if I just post this on my drummer page and just, whatever, and I think Metal Injection
everybody grabbed it.
And then it just went viral, and everybody's like, this isn't even fast, Jarvis sucks. This is poser metal. What is this, Nickelback? And it's like,
I was reading all that shit
the song yet, it's the drums, and if that doesn't sound cool to you, then I'm sorry. Go listen to
Nickelback.
Nickelback, Hoobastank, or a band that does a thrash beat.
I think Hoobastank is one of your favorite bands, or you talk about them all the time.
I love saying Hoobastank.
See? But it's true. As soon as you posted that, it went insane. So see, you're like this huge drum metal star. You got Metal Injection watching your page.
Yeah, it's either them or Metal Sucks. Picked it up, and then it just bam. I didn't even know about it, and somebody sent me a text, and they're like, geez, well, that shit spread quick. And I'm like, huh? Yeah, your drum video. And I'm like, what drum video? I wasn't even thinking that it would,
It was that little...
It picked up, but...
So what's going on with them then? So you have that song, so you're doing a lot of writing. I mean, what are your guys' plan as far as, an album?
Well, we got, at this point, we can play through 3 of the, I could say 5, but 5's not really complete yet. And it's always Scott will kind of bounce stuff off of me, because the newest one is actually, really fast. So he's like, can you do a bomb blast at 2:55? I'm like, sure.
Let me do some coke first, and then let's talk.
Yeah. Or the last record, I had to run on a freaking treadmill before I started tracking one day, just to get my blood flowing, and then blast at 260 or something ridiculous.
Oh my God. Well, isn't it hard? Isn't it hard though, Adam, when Scott sends you this stuff that's on a drum machine and expecting you to... Okay, there you go.
He's a drummer himself. He can't play any of that stuff by any means, but he actually grew up, I believe he was playing just jazz drums. So when he writes some of this stuff, it sounds like it's impossible to play. Like, Agoraphobic Nosebleed is one thing because that is supposed to be just, like, over-the-top ridiculous, you know?
Right.
But with Pig Destroyer, it's got to be, you know, humanly possible. So that's why, for instance, with this new song, he's like, well, I'm going to send you, like, the first minute, you know, let me know if this is even realistic, if I should, you know, even run with this anymore, you know, and sent to me, and I was like, like,
on the treadmill you go.
All right, there goes another 12 hours of my life learning a minute of a song. But I like it because it's a challenge. You know?
Mm-hmm.
With Misery Index, I write my own drum parts and, you know, really concentrate on, you know, the ebb and flow of a Misery Index song, where Pig Destroyer is more of a spastic, like, controlled chaos.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, you know, one time signature to the next, you know, and just constantly insane. So if Scott didn't send me a guideline, then I'd be lost in some of his songs. So I'd just be like, what is this? You know?
Right. No,
it's all in his head, so he's got to translate it before, you know, he sends it to me in a way, you know, so it's a lot of fun. And yeah, I'd say at this point we got 4.5 songs in the works for the new record, and we're hoping to record definitely early next year.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to try and start recording and get it out this year, but with my schedule and, you know, just everything else involved with that, it's just not going to be possible.
So is Pig Destroyer, would you say, the most challenging of all the bands you're in?
Physically, no. Fulgora is probably some of the hardest. We don't even have that many songs at this point, but when I play a Fulgora set, it, like, kicks my ass.
Why?
It's like, jeez. It's just fierce, and you got to play it fierce, otherwise it doesn't sound that way. And Misery Index is definitely, I would say, stamina-wise harder than Pig Destroyer, but it's all equally, you know,
challenging for
stamina-wise.
you?
It's equally challenging and mentally challenging and all that stuff, so I can't really put a finger on which one would be
because they
harder
are.
and just, like, exhausting by the time I'm done.
So is Pig Destroyer doing anything this year then, as far as, like, any shows or anything like that?
Yeah, we're doing some shows in September.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing in Philly at Union Transfer, and then we're playing in upstate New York in Ithaca.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so the band hasn't been up there, and I don't know if ever.
Well, that's a university town, so...
Yeah, and then we're playing Arizona for the first time ever.
Oh, wow.
We're actually headlining the Southwest Terror Fest.
Nice.
Which has Agoraphobic's actually playing that, so it's going to be a double duty for John and Scott. But it's not going to be a back-to-back thing. It's going to be one night, Pig Destroyer, one night Agoraphobic.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, definitely. I think it's actually sold out now, so
wow.
If you're listening and you didn't get tickets and you live in Arizona, then sorry.
You'll have to listen outside. Now, with, like you were saying, how all this stuff is challenging for you, and, you know, you're a pretty intense drummer. Have you ever gotten a drummer injury? Ever got hurt doing any of this?
Actually, I smacked myself in the wrist the other day with my stick, and I was trying to do this weird cymbal grab, and somehow just, like, I had to drop the drumstick and almost look at it like Bruce Lee for a minute and be like, ah! You know. But haven't, you know, I'll knock on some wood.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't had any kind of, you know, like carpal tunnel or anything like that. And, you know, there's the occasional blister. I just switched over to using Vic Firth drumsticks, and I guess just the little bit of like a variation in the size of the stick that I'm using,
mm-hmm.
It just like started to rip my hands apart, and it was not fun because I lost a bunch of calluses I had built up too. So
that's weird. Just from one, just like a size up or something, and it killed
Yeah,
you?
just something with either the lacquer and the diameter and all that factors in, I guess. And because I used the same drumstick for like over 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So
who'd ever thought such?
Actually, getting some signature sticks in the mail probably next week.
How exciting! Vic Firth.
Yeah, Vic Firth. I got Pig Destroyer and Misery Index sticks made up.
Ooh, nice.
Forward to that.
Told you, you're like a big metal drummer star now. You got your own sticks. All the news agencies are watching on you. Jeez.
Yeah,
paparazzi's outside your door. Women are throwing their underwear up on stage.
This isn't Molly Crew or Skid Row back in 1989.
Oh, gosh. So, all right. Do you now? How many kits do you have? Do you just have the one, or do you like collect them?
I have one back at my parents' house in Illinois, outside of St. Louis. I have one here in Baltimore. That's my primary practice kit, and then I have a kit at Scott's house just to keep there because that's where we practice with Pig Destroyers in Scott's basement. That's also the studio where we record. So I just have a full set of everything there and just leave it there. So I just roll in, and I use the same snare on everything. So I just always just bring my snare.
Mm-hmm. So when you go out and play, which kit do you use?
The one that's at the practice space, it's a D-Drum. That one is the D-Drum Dios line. It's like a black to natural fade. I've had that for, I guess, probably 5 or 6 years now. Still holding up.
Wowee. And when you go out and play with all your different bands, do you always set them up the same way, or do you have like different setups for the different bands you're in?
I set them up the same way for, Misery Index, the Pig Destroyer. There's a few small variations between those two bands. And Fulgora is pretty much the same, but Asthma Castle, which is my doomish, stonerish, I Hate God, COC-ish band. That's just too... If I could just use rides for everything, I would just crush ride crash cymbals.
Oh, gosh.
So that's the totally different setup. I just use a double pedal and, just
you don't
get away with
much.
one rack tom and one floor and 2 crashes. So
I didn't even know you were in that band. See, I missed one.
Well, that band has just kind of been on a little temporary hiatus because we lost our vocalist. And that was like the original vocalist even before I was in the band. But we're working with a new guy, this guy Zach, who sings in a Black Sabbath tribute band here in Baltimore, and they're called Bastards of Reality. And they're freaking amazing. Like, every chance I get, I go to see them just because they sound exactly like 70s era Black Sabbath.
Wow.
Like, it's actually almost terrifying when you watch them. Like, vocals, everything about it is like perfect.
So do you go there and shut your eyes and you're like, oh my God.
The first time I saw them, it gave me chills beyond belief. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, it was mind blowing. So as soon as we lost, I was like, well, who can we find? Because it's a unique voice that you have to have. You can't scream over it. And so he's stepped in, and we're actually doing pre-production on that. We're meeting up tomorrow.
Holy
and trying to get that out so we can, see if somebody wants to release it. And
oh, nice. Well, you'll have to make sure you keep me informed on all that, too. I don't want to miss anything,
it's really fun stuff. It's like really awesome riffs. My buddy Justin and Cameron and Jeff, they're the strings of the band, and they come up with amazing riffs and like dueling solo harmonies, and it's fun stuff. Different.
So I was going to say, what's it like for you then playing with a band like that? Do they have to always tell you to slow down?
They did it. They did it first. They were like, "Smoke some more weed, man."
You're going too fast.
But I've gotten better, and Pig Destroyer did that Natasha piece in the UK. It's the only time it's ever been played, and that's all slow, doomy, drudging through the trenches. And you gotta. Gary said it best from I Hate God. He's like, you gotta have that ass drag. He's like, you gotta have that New Orleans ass drag.
Musical terminology.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So that's kind of cool. So you'll have to keep me posted on that. But let's talk a little bit about Fulgora now, since we've been hitting on it bits and pieces on here. What's actually going on with Fulgora now? Are you doing any kind of writing? Are you guys playing out anywhere with them?
We just played a few weeks ago in D.C., opened up for Agoraphobic.
Oh, jeez.
It's all intertwined. But that was the first show that we played this year, and there's talks of us doing maybe a few shows in maybe like October, I think. Okay. But we are writing and just keeping the ball rolling on that, and we have a song that we recorded down at Phil Anselmo's studio that still hasn't been released. So we're waiting on that. It's mixed, and I think everything's pretty much ready to go at this point.
Oh, cool.
And that's with a band called Grisnam. We're going to do a split 7-inch with those guys. Awesome band from New Orleans area. So yeah, that should come out hopefully within the next couple months.
Oh, cool.
And then we don't actually have a proper full length yet, because everything's just been like basically 7-inch release or whatever. So we're gonna come out with a proper full length. It's time to do it. And Brandon Lemieux, he's the main songwriter. He's got all kinds of riffs up his sleeve. So
cool.
We were talking quite a bit while he was out here, and definitely gonna get the ball rolling on that as well.
Boy, you got a lot of shit going on this year.
I'll say.
So there's another thing. People could go to the Fulgora Facebook page to make sure they don't miss anything that's going on with that band of yours as well. It's kind of funny when I was talking to John, too. He's like, yeah, Adam and I were talking about just doing like a Jarv Fest. Never leave the stage. All our bands go. I was like, that probably people would
have a full weekend to get through it.
I'm like, I know. I was like, crazy, because it's like you just said, you're playing with Agoraphobic Nosebleed and this, and you're all in the same bands. I'm like, oh my God. I don't know how you can keep all this shit straight, I swear. Okay, so finally, Misery Index. Now, I mean, you said you were going to Europe this year. What else you got going on with Misery Index?
Yeah, it's the calm before the storm, really. We're slowly, ever so slowly getting into the writing process. The Killing Gods, I guess, is it's going on 2 years now, I think. Something like that.
Yep.
Actually, I think it is like 2 years. So yeah, that's going to have to be a priority soon, is to start writing again, because we take a long time.
Well, you got.
And it was 5 years from Heirs to Thievery till The Killing Gods came out, and we don't really want to do that again. So we're all meeting up at, like, I guess mid-July, and then we're doing about 2.5 weeks in Europe, mostly like summer festival run. That's always a good time.
Yeah.
Something different every day. It's open air festivals all over the place in Europe. So we're doing this one in Slovenia I'm really excited about. It's called Metal Days. It's supposed to be in like the setting's like in the middle of like the mountains and
wow.
rivers flowing everywhere, and it's supposed to be just beautiful. So,
wow.
Yeah, and then from Europe, we're flying to Montreal and doing the like the pre-fest for Heavy Montreal this year, and Jason and Mark are speaking at the that Grimposium panel discussion that they do. They did that at the Decibel magazine show that just happened a little bit ago, and so yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. And then going to hang out probably for the festival and go watch Five Finger Death Punch.
Sounds like a good time.
I probably will not watch Five Finger.
Why not? What the hell, if they're going to be there and you're going to be there? Maybe you'll like them. Maybe you'll learn something from them.
Whoa. Yeah, easy.
So, Adam, anything else you're involved in? Musically.
Yeah, I mean, there's something that I can't talk about.
Okay, well then let's not talk about that one.
I'll just let that just stew for a minute in your head.
Yeah, thanks. It's going to be stewing until the next time I talk to you.
But if that happens, then Game Changer.
Oh boy.
Is all I'm going to say.
Oh, that's too much.
Game Changer.
Jeez.
So.
God damn.
Been talking to a few people, and yeah. When the time comes.
You know where I am. You'll have to tell me.
Yeah.
You know where to find me. So what's the first thing you have coming up then, next? What's the next thing you have coming up with whatever band you're in?
Just as far as shows.
Yeah, what's the next show you got going on?
That would be the Misery Index shows in July.
Okay, so that's pretty soon. That's only like a month off.
Yeah, exactly. So that's all towards like the end of July. I'm actually going to Italy with my girlfriend and her family for 2 weeks, and we're staying in a villa in Palermo.
Wowee!
Yeah. So I've never been to Sicily before.
Well, that'll be nice. So you get to have a little vacation with all this shit you got going on.
It's actually my first time ever going to Europe as like an actual tourist.
Wow.
I've hung out for a few days here and there. I hung out in like Switzerland and Finland and stuff like that, but I've never actually just flown over and like vacation time.
And been a tourist.
Yeah. So she's got family over there, and
that's even better, because then they're going to know all the great spots for you to go. And
yeah, her mother's 100% Italian, so she's got all her family over there. So it's going to be a lot of drinking wine,
a lot of eating,
orlami and margaritas,
and a lot of talking with your hands.
Arrivederci. So.
Well, that sounds like fun, and at least you got some kind of little rest fun time when you're over there. I mean, it's like
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the calm before the storm. So I'm flying back from that trip, and then I'm home for 4 days, and then fly back to Europe with Misery Index. So
you're gonna be a busy guy this summer.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, everybody can find every band that Adam's in on Facebook, I believe, unless, well, yes, all the ones that we know about. And soon we'll find out about the secret band. That's going to bug me now until I know. But, Adam, thank you for coming on and telling us about all your bands and everything you got going on. And we'll talk to you again when you come back from all your tours, and you can tell us about the secret band, because that's killing me now.
Yeah. Everybody knows who they are, but it's just...
stop it!
Yeah, thanks for having me on, and, if you're listening, thanks for listening, and thanks for what you do, Jet. You put a lot of time and effort into this, so it's really cool.